We didn't eat for pleasure back then. We ate to get by. These cheap, filling vintage meals were created with whatever was left in the pantry. Here are 30 heartbreaking 1980 suppers that disappeared without warning, and nobody even noticed. Ever wonder what your parents or grandparents really ate? Let's find out. Tuna Noodle Casserole. Tuna, egg noodles, cream of mushroom soup. Not pretty, but it kept the lights on. That pantry hack comfort food your grandma made. Meatloaf Variations. Every family had their version of meatloaf. Some with oats, some with ketchup, some with a prayer. Humble, safe, and so classic comfort food. Sloppy Joes. Sloppy Joes were messy, cheap, and full of flavor. The kind of kid-friendly dinners we all devoured. You'd pile the meat high on a bun and hope it holds together. It usually didn't, but nobody cared. TV dinners came in little foil trays with mystery meat, corn that tasted like cardboard, and a brownie that was always half burnt. Still, it felt like a treat. Liver and onions. The smell of liver and onions filled the whole house, and not in a good way. But Mom swore it was good for you, and that was that. Jell-O molds were bright, jiggly towers stuffed with canned fruit, marshmallows, and sometimes shredded carrots. Nobody asked why. We just ate it and smiled. Stuffed bell peppers were hollowed out and packed with rice and beef, baked until the edges blistered. It was cheap and made the leftovers feel new. Deviled ham sandwiches came from a can, mixed with mayo, slapped on white bread. It was lunch, dinner, or whatever you needed it to be. Salmon patties used canned salmon, breadcrumbs, and egg. You'd fry them until golden and serve them with whatever was left in the fridge. Hamburger Helper only needed 1 skillet, 1 box, and 1 pound of meat. It stretched $1 further than anything else in the pantry. Love discovering these vintage food hacks? Hit that like button and subscribe. There's plenty more lost American kitchen secrets waiting. Baked beans and weenies were a cheap, salty sweet supper that stuck to your ribs. 1 pot, 2 cans, and a pack of hot dogs. That was all it took. Chicken pot pie, frozen or homemade, came with that flaky top and a bubbling mix of peas, carrots, and mystery gravy. It burned your tongue every time, and you still went back for seconds. Goulash was elbow macaroni, ground beef, and tomato sauce, stretched to feed a crowd. It wasn't fancy, but it filled the table and the belly. It was classic comfort food. Fish sticks with tartar sauce were crunchy on the outside, mushy inside, and nobody questioned it. Just toss them on a tray and supper was ready. Fried bologna with a slice of melted cheese on top sizzled in the pan and curled at the edges like a little meat bowl. It smelled like home. Rice and gravy was simple and southern. No meat, just brown gravy poured over white rice. When money was tight, it was supper and comfort in one. Ramen noodles, dressed up with a cracked egg or leftover veggies, were the poor man's miracle. 10 cents a pack, and somehow it worked. Tuna patties were made when you couldn't afford fresh fish. Canned tuna, breadcrumbs, egg, and a hot skillet. That was enough. Cube steak smothered in gravy turned a tough cut into something tender and filling. You just needed to chew it slowly. Cornbread and milk wasn't dessert. Crumbled cornbread soaked in cold milk was a quiet supper when the cupboards were close to empty. Spam and eggs were a supper classic in homes where bacon was a luxury. That salty sizzle filled the kitchen like a warm hug from hard times. Salisbury steak came frozen, smothered in brown gravy, and sometimes mistaken for actual steak. It wasn't, but it was hot, cheap, and good enough. Chipped beef on toast, some called it SOS, was just dried beef in white gravy poured over bread. It looked awful, but it got you through lean nights. Pot roast with root vegetables was a Sunday favorite. The meat fell apart with a fork, and the carrots soaked up all the flavor like little sponges. Creamed corn over toast was the answer when nothing else was in the fridge. Sweet, starchy, and oddly comforting, it didn't ask much of you. Shepherd's pie with instant mashed potatoes was built from leftovers. Whatever was in the fridge got tossed under a cloud of fake spuds and baked into something warm. Tangy pineapple ham rings were canned ham slices topped with pineapple and a cherry in the middle. It was 1980s elegance on a budget. Chicken a la king was creamed chicken with peas and mushrooms over rice or toast. It came in cans or frozen bags. Either way, it got the job done. Macaroni and cheese with hot dogs was a kid's dream and a parent's quick fix. It was neon yellow, salty, and always disappeared fast. Beef stroganoff from a box wasn't fancy, but the creamy sauce and noodles felt like a treat on a Tuesday. We didn't have much, but these 1980s pantry meals brought us together. They were warm, they were real, and they told stories you could taste. Maybe they're gone, but we haven't forgotten. Which of these do you remember? Drop it in the comments. We read every single one.